I got some bad news, good news. Jalen Brunson unavailable for the New York Knicks matchup against this dude. There's the good news. Damian Lillard is a full go. Knicks, Blazers. Huge playoff implications every game from here on out for both of these squads. Damian Lillard got Portland off to a blazing start. Y'all see what I did there? Come on now. I'm here all week. Come on now. Give me some love. Corner three-pointer. Looking like money. Back to the Dame show. Beautiful pocket pass to Nurkic. Then we go up top. Matisse Thybulle making an impact for Portland. Knickerbockers turn to their all-star. His name is Julius Randle, and he's been having a phenomenal season. Blazers, though, strike right before the half. It's Dame Dollar for three once. Game so nice, you probably should do it twice. Actually, Damian Lillard's going to do it three times because he's on his grind. Blazers up by 6 as we took an intermission. Third quarter, Randle. Ooh, now you see me, and now you don't. I'm Julius Randle. My game's so great, I take what I want. Randle going to work in Oregon. That's an and one for the big fella in blue. 24-10, another night at the office for Randle. And he got some help quickly. Been filling in quite nicely for Jalen Brunson, the point guard in New York. Look at what a good sport by that Knicks fan, by the way, as the popcorn flows on him. He's going to get the last laugh. Damian Lillard led everybody in scoring with 38, but it's the New York Knickerbockers on the road, continuing to take care of business. Beat the Lakers. Now they about to beat the Blazers. You got heart, cuz? You got heart? You can tell me if you got heart. Josh Hart had 16. And the Knicks get the 123-107 win over the Blazers. Well, Damian Lillard had a lot to say recently on JJ Redick's Old Man in the Three podcast. I don't want to read all of it, but I do want to highlight some of this stuff because I do think Damian Lillard said a mouthful, and I do want to react to it. So if you're waiting on your boy's reaction, let me get through some of these quotes for the people that did not hear what Dame said to JJ Redick, and then I'll respond to a little bit of it. Dame said there's nobody there to really let them know. He's speaking about the young fellas in the league. You are super talented, but you've got to earn stuff around here. You got to earn your way. They come in and everything is given to them from the beginning. So that affects how they are, the way they play. They play for themselves. They play for stats. They think they're LeBron James when they make an all-star game or got a max contract. It's just different. I don't know how to completely put it together, but the NBA I play in now is not the NBA that I came into. I feel like I play for the love of the game. I want the competition. I want to know what it feels like to win. I want to see my teammates do well. I want to see my teammates get paid. I enjoy the bonding part of it. We spend more time with each other than anybody, but now it's like that don't count. Regular season don't count. Get a ring. This guy's the MVP. That guy did this. What is this stuff? I don't want to make it about my situation, but I was talking after a game like a week ago, and somebody was asking me about winning a ring, and I'm like, I don't need to prove to y'all that I want to win a ring. Why the hell do I play? While I understand we play to win championships, we all want to win the championship. We can't keep acting like nothing matters. Like the rest of this stuff, the journey doesn't matter. We can't keep doing it. I feel like there's so many ways that the league is different. And I think about it all the time when I'm like, man, I don't know if I could just play a long, long time because I don't enjoy what the NBA as a whole is becoming. I want to read a little bit more, then I get up out of this. He said, I have a real life. I think that's the best way to put it. I don't live my life as Damian Lillard. I go home. I play with my kids. I go to my mom's house. I hang out with my cousins. I have a life. I talk to my grandmother on the phone. My uncle calls me, and we talk on the phone all night about regular stuff. I have a life that's stable, and it's not based upon who I am as an NBA player. I mean, Damian Lillard said a lot. I want to break down a little bit. Well, first off, because a lot of people don't like that I'm not the biggest fan of JJ Redick as the analyst on First Take. Let me tell y'all something. I never said I didn't enjoy JJ Redick and his podcast. So I think JJ Redick is very player friendly, very soft on players, and it does not make for the best analyst when you're watching him on First Take, when he's a guest co-host, or when he's analyzing a game. He's not that bad analyzing games, but he's just soft on players. But what it does make for is a really good interviewer in podcasts. That's what I don't think JJ Redick gets enough credit. So y'all got to understand, your boy, I make sense all the time. I'm a consistent human being. Now, I don't like JJ Redick on First Take because he's so soft on players. But what he does have a gift is, being a former player, he's got a gift getting guys to open up. I don't think you get that interview from Damian Lillard in a lot of places. I don't. So I want to shout out JJ Redick for pulling that out of Damian Lillard. You could tell it's been on his mind. Dame does a good amount of interviews. I ain't never seen him give it up like that. And I do want to react to that. I did want to shout out JJ Redick on pulling a lot out of Damian Lillard right there. Whew. What a mouthful from Dame. Well, first off, to be fair, Damian Lillard ain't really put no names to a lot of this stuff. He did highlight some of the young fellas. He did talk about ring culture as a whole, but he ain't put a lot of names to who he's talking about. Are you talking about just the media? Are you talking about fans? Are you talking about organizations? Let me say this part. I don't believe fans should get any criticism from players. I don't like that. All right, I've been a fan of this game all my life. I have the opportunity to cover this bad boy night in, night out. It's my job. From the fan perspective, it's not their job to care about things that players care about. That's on the players. Now, obviously, you got fans of teams, super fans, but you know what they're doing? And I'm not saying this is 100% back at Damian Lillard, because, again, he didn't say who he's talking about exactly in his interview from what I've seen of it. I don't think it's fans' job to treat the NBA better than they treat their life. Like, Dame, in one token, you can't say in my real life I don't live as Damian Lillard and not understand I got a life. I got a wife. We about to start a family in a couple years here. If I were not a part of the NBA covering it, right, like, this would be just something I turn on my TV when I have time, and then I cut it off. I don't have the time to focus on Damian Lillard dropped 35 tonight. Look at how him and Anthony Simons are playing together. That's not my job. I'm a fan. You want to know what I can do? The best thing I do? Go buy season tickets. Go to games. Be in attendance. Support your games on television so you can get a better – so the NBA can get a better TV deal so you can get more money in your pocket. You're making $50, $60 million a year. So I think giving the fans any culpability of this, if the fans just want to talk about who wins rings, that's not on them to change the narrative. So I just want to give the fans deserve no culpability in this. If fans want to focus on who wins championships, there's not enough life to boggle down every night of the season and talk about, did you see Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons? They helped the Portland Trailblazers score 44 points in the third quarter. Okay, there are super fans out there that care about stuff like that. That's not everybody's reality. Everybody doesn't have the time like that to do that. Fans should care about who wins. The point of this game is to win. Now, let's talk about other fixtures. I definitely think the media, and I'll put myself in this. I don't want to be removed from that. I was a part of the fans. I'm also part of the media. I definitely think the media can do a better job on how we cover the game. Yes, it should be about the finish line, but yes, the journey should matter to the media. I 100% agree with that. Now, there are a lot of reporters. I just met Chris Haynes a few weeks ago in Los Angeles. Guys like him, they do stories year-round about Damian Lillard. He does a lot of stuff with Dame. They do stuff year-round about people. Those stories don't get the traction and attention than a story about Damian Lillard potentially opting out of a deal of his player option to go be a free agent. Those stories are going to get more noise and notoriety. But I want to just say this. It's not all media. I want to believe that Damian Lillard wants to separate reporters from TV personalities and YouTube personalities. Let's be honest about this. I do believe we can do a better job of focusing on the product in and out. That's why I do what I do. Like, yes, I do highlights every night of the season. And we celebrate guys' stats every night of the season. So, yes, we're critical of players and their performances, but we do a service to we show you the best. You don't see a lot of misses in my highlights. Most of my highlights are player makes. So, if nothing else, I can say I'm giving fans the highlight that they maybe missed if they didn't get to watch the game. But, again, I think overall we can do better. Now, let's get to the teams and the players and the organizations. Yes, ring culture has definitely taken away from the journey. Damian Lillard's like, yo, I want to see my mans get paid. I'm sure it made Damian Lillard smile seeing Anthony Simons get that big deal. And I'm sure it'll make Dame smile even harder. Seeing a couple of his other young bulls like Shaden Sharp get a deal in a couple years. Seeing guys come in and change their lives and their family lives forever, it's great. Seeing fans get behind these guys and love on them, I'm sure it's going to be great. The problem with that is other teams are looking at the business side of this. How you going to tell these owners to not go for a Kevin Durant? The Suns got a new owner, and immediately he was there for a week. He made a move to get Kevin Durant. Now, he just gave up Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges has literally never missed a game in his entire career. Never. Kevin Durant literally got to Phoenix and got injured in his fourth game plan. Literally. The business says Phoenix should have went and got Kevin Durant, and it might pay off in a championship. It would have been great if Mikal Bridges, a guy that literally is there every time a season ticket holder goes to a game, a fan that doesn't have money to go to 7-8 games a year, that's only going to one game a year, it would have been great to win that championship with Mikal Bridges. You see what I'm going with this? I think I'm making some good points here. It would have been great for that Phoenix organization to see one of their own. Mikal Bridges gets to the league, goes to Phoenix, and literally never misses a game. It would have been great to see him win a ring in Phoenix. The business model says Kevin Durant's number one, a legend. Number two, out the gate, because he's a legend, he's going to sell jerseys. He's going to put butts in seats. There are people that are in Phoenix, Arizona that will say, you know what? I just want to go see Kevin Durant play basketball tonight when he's healthy. I wouldn't go see Mikal Bridges. He doesn't have the star power. From the business model for that owner, it made sense to go get Kevin Durant. Obviously, business still has to factor in to these owners. You want to know why business had to factor in? A lot of times, Dave, just to be real with you, because a lot of times players ain't playing. They got to find different ways to get theirs back because the product lacks to begin the season. These guys are playing hard now. That was not the case. I cover this thing every night. Nobody watches more basketball than me. The level of play right now is great. It was not this way in December and January. Trust me, I was watching. So there's more to unpack. Was Damian Lillard talking about stars? Was he talking about a guy like Kevin Durant, who we now have seen leave 3 times? He's pretty much demanded. He left from Oklahoma City in free agency to Golden State, but he's pretty much wanted to swap his situation 3 times now. Is he talking about a guy like KD? He didn't really put names on a lot of this stuff. I do think Dame makes valid points. And let me say this, Damian Lillard is one of my favorite people in the league. He's a guy that I would love to be the president of the NBA Players Association one day. You could tell he's got a stable background. And when he goes home, like he says, he's just dad. He's just husband. Dame needs to know that what he's got, by the way, a lot of these young bulls don't got today. He's got to understand that. Well, I trust me, I live with that too. When I'm not on camera, I'm just husband. I'm just a friend. I'm just brother. Right? Like when this camera not rolling, I'm just these guys. When I put this camera on, though, I got a job to do. I got to be a personality. I think that what Damian Lillard is saying, there's a lot of realness to it. I don't care how. Let me just say this to Dave, though. He said he doesn't know how long he's going to play. I know if you go play as long as they give you $60 million a year. The hell is he talking about? That's the only thing I didn't like. He's like, I don't know how long I'm going to play. And I don't like when the NBA's go, they pay you $60 million a year. You go play as long as they give you 65 million bones a year to play basketball. You go play as long as they give you $65 million a year. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is about to go play with the damn New York Jets. You think he want to be in New York? You think he want to be playing with the Jets? They paid him $60 million this year. He going to get out there and play that last season in their country. So I don't want to hear that part of it. You going to play. But I do think Dame makes some valid points. Yes, we are losing a little bit of the fabric of the game. But business is such a different thing than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. The fabric of this country is not just the NBA, by the way. Everybody's business model is changing. Everybody's now looking at the quick picture. We're not thinking 10, 15, 20 years anymore. We're thinking 1, 2 years. The younger generation, they don't stay at jobs for 5, 10 years. If they don't like it, they out in a year. If they don't like it, they out in 6 months. Does that create some negative to that? Absolutely it does. And you can understand why it's one thing for people like you or me when we leave a job to go on somewhere else. We're not making $10 million a year, right? Obviously, you can understand how young bulls that come into the league that are making $4 or $5 million a year, how that could be problematic if they picked up on what society is. They're making millions of dollars to do it. They're hooping for a living. A lot of these athletes nowadays don't come from nothing. A lot of these dudes are privileged. They come from something. These are middle-class kids most times making the NBA. So, yes, they look at things differently than me or you will and how we got to treat our jobs, right? I'm just saying there's a lot of things going in this that Damian, and Dame knows this, right? He knows there's a lot to this. Society has changed. The way we look at the world is not a 5-year thing or not a 10-year thing. It's a very quick microwave world we live in today. And it ain't all bad. A lot of people looked at our parents and said, you know, my parents, you stayed too long at that job. They used you. And when they were ready to move on, they spit you out like you didn't matter. Like your 10, 15, 20 years didn't matter. A lot of us have gotten smarter as well. I'm on a rant right now. I'm on a tangent right now. But that's part of how society has changed. Now, if I'm not happy, I'm getting out of here. There's negative that come with that. But that's where society is. And I think the NBA is a microcosm of society, of the music that we listen to, of the culture that we consume. It is the reality of the world that we live in today. And, you know, it creates for this microwavable NBA society that just doesn't have time to care about as much as they used to. The night in, night outs of the NBA. It's about who won and who didn't, who got the rings and who don't. And for a guy like Damian Lillard that's trying to build something in Portland and win one in Portland, Dame wins one in Portland, that equals 3 rings for other people. One in Portland for Dame is 3 for somebody else. And I'll close this video out with this. I'm not mad that Damian Lillard stayed in Portland his entire career. What bothers me with Damian Lillard is that he doesn't let his deals get to the 1-year marker. He's re-signed, and I'm not mad at the brother for getting paid. I get it. My only thing with Dame is I do believe the Portland Trail Blazers would have did better by him and players that he maybe wanted to play with and exhausted more measures to go out and get more guys. They said that they tried, but they could have did better by Dame if he didn't always renew his contracts with more than a year left. That has allowed the Blazers to have leverage where they're like, shit, we got Dame locked up, so he ain't going nowhere. He loves it here in Portland, right? Like as long as we got him, we know he go hard. We know he put in the work. So there's a lot to this. I don't want to bore you with this stuff. If you stayed to this point in the video, you probably either really like my content or you're really bored. Either way, I do appreciate the love. If you got a chance to listen to Damian Lillard's interview with JJ Redick, please let me know what your thoughts about it. He said a mouthful. I thought it was great. Let me know what y'all think. Time Loves Boys. What your boy with up? Take for greatest. I'm out.